Welcome, my dear guests, to the captivating expanses of my story. Chapter 16. In the holy halls of the Master of Espionage, there was a swinging sea of busy activity. The agents, wrapped in a garment of dedication, devoted themselves with passion to analyzing the latest reports. But a message shining like a sparkling diamond in the dark attracted everyone's attention. The visits of the empress to the universities had become a glorious tradition that could not fade away even in the war's darkest hours. And so it was this year when Savia, the brilliant ruler, stood before the young graduates and, with her passionate speech, enlightened their hearts and minds alike. "The challenge that awaits you is of monumental magnitude," she said with a passion that lamented in her voice. "But I recognize in you those chosen ones who will tirelessly carry on the spark of hope. Let your light shine like the shining stars in the endless sky." An ecstatic jubilation broke out as Savia stretched her hands triumphantly toward heaven. Even the fierce protests of some of the less disturbed did not at all blur the all-encompassing euphoria in the air. The people's hearts still burned with the flaming flame of unshakable confidence. In the midst of this, the equinox continued its scientific exploration. Every wreck destroyed, every tiny splinter carried a new secret that revealed the mysterious technology of the cult of Fair. But nothing fascinated the researchers as much as the weapon systems, equipped with unprecedented brilliance and sophistication. "See how artfully the energy is combined," Archon exclaimed with an enthusiastic voice. "As soon as we understand the principle, we can use it to our advantage." Day after day and night after night, they remained in their secret shelter, driven by an unstoppable passion to uncover the deepest secrets of their ruthless enemies. Their tired eyes pervaded the darkness as they tirelessly sought answers. But then, at last, in a moment of triumphal enlightenment, the significant breakthrough to change everything was revealed to them. The redeveloped designs for the UV lasers and fire control systems were now open to them, like precious relics from a distant future. These carefully sketched blueprints concealed the potential to overturn the power ratio and shift the stranded front in favor of the Empire. With every day facing the inevitable fate, her determination to turn the technology of the fearful cult against it grew. They were prepared to accomplish the impossible and transcend the imaginable's limits because they knew that the day of vengeance was unstoppably approaching when they would use the power of technology to defeat their enemies. In the night's shadows and the rising sun's rays, they worked tirelessly, their hands flying over the keyboards and their heads smoking from concentration. They developed new algorithms to exploit the weaknesses of the technology of the cult's Fair and use them against their creators. Every day, their hopes grew that they would soon win over and that Fair could finally be held accountable. In the halls of the Imperial Senate, in the meantime, the voices of those who advocated expanding the rights of aliens rose. An atmosphere of change lay in the air, while a charismatic leader with her magnetic radiation won the hearts of numerous individuals. Even Kasach, who is also an alien in the service of the Empire, the Grand Inquisitor, could no longer ignore the unstoppable influence of this extraordinary personality. Kasach stood before the Senate chamber and let her words pass through the room with contempt and concern. Her voice sounded like the echo of a distant future where the boundaries between man and Xeno would be blurred. "This Xeno lover," she began with a voice permeated by a mysterious force, "spread her dangerous propaganda like a burning fire that spreads unstoppably in a drought. Their words are like a virus that settles in the heads of the masses, poisoning their thoughts." The Senate, filled with the Empire's most powerful and influential personalities, listened to their words. Some nicked in agreement, while others remained skeptical. But no one could deny that the idea of a merger of man and Xenon was fascinating and disturbing simultaneously. The debate in the Senate would continue for a long time because the future of these countless species was in the hands of the senators. But the divine Empress Savia raised her hand in a comforting gesture. "Let us act with the wisdom of the ancients," she admonished gently. "For oppression is the spark of anger. We need to find a path of change that leads us into a new era." The Senate still hesitated to follow the words of the Empress as if she were trapped in a cosmic game of chess. But in the depths of their souls, they had already germinated the seed of change, which unstoppably took root in the foundations of their existence. Like a sparkling star in the dark sky, he promised a new era of change and renewal. With her words, the Empress had unleashed a cascade of possibilities that would forever change the Empire's destiny. Now, it was up to them to have the courage to explore these possibilities and make their own choices. The Empress had shown them the way, but ultimately, it was up to them whether they would follow that path or choose another. It was a challenge that they had to face with determination and courage to shape their destiny and bring about a new era. Rita Griffin, a fearless pioneer of science, had sunk in her lab. With tireless dedication, she pursued innovations for the civilian research project initiatives. Her thoughts floated in the infinite vastness of the universe as she increasingly unleashed the limits of the possible. The world seemed unconscious, but Rita was determined to shape the future and lead mankind into a new era of progress. Every step she took brought science closer to discovering new technologies and solutions to society's most pressing problems. Her unwavering belief in the power of the human mind prompted her to continue her work and seek answers to the galaxy's great questions. Rita was a visionary whose passion and determination laid the foundation for a promising future. "Look!" she cried with an ecstatic voice. "If we distribute resources more generously across the Empire, innovation centers will flourish like mushrooms after a beneficial rainfall." With a burning passion, she presented her developed trade guidelines to the assembled Senate, which embodied nothing less than the priority of research and progress. The conservative House was still hesitant, trapped in the bonds of the past, but Rita was not discouraged. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as she planted her vision into the hearts of those present with every word that came through her lips. Slowly but unstoppably, their revolutionary idea spread like a spark eating through dry grass. Members of the Senate felt the flames of change in society and could not help but be drawn by Rita's contagious energy. A new era of innovation and progress was about to begin its inevitable triumph. In the various realms of the galaxy, Kasach had expanded his network of agents with iron determination. Like a skilled dancer on the parquet of intrigues, she used every twisted contact to consolidate the foundations of imperial security. The threat floating over them was as dark and oppressive as never before, and Kasach knew that she had to mobilize all available means. She proceeded steadfastly in the shadows of the night, where the truth was hidden and betrayal glowed. Her heart was beating in harmony with the universe's pulse as she chased the shadow of rebellion. With every breath she took, she felt the unwavering determination to stifle every spark of subversion. The darkness seemed threatening, but Kasach was ready to face her with her steadfast will. She was a defender of truth, a keeper of light in a world filled with lies and deception. And so it would continue to move forward, casting its enemies into the shadows and holding up the flame of justice. In a strictly secret and carefully planned operation, further potential targets for the terraforming were detected. In particular, a fascinating world in the breadths of Brioria proved to be extremely promising. With unwavering determination, preparations for the forthcoming transformation were immediately launched. Soon, a once cramped and lifeless terrain, a flourishing ecosystem, would catapult the splendor and glory of the Empire to unexpected heights. A true crescendo of ecstasy filled the hearts of people when the terraforming projects on Magnus Anti, Magnus IMB, and Vuondurable 4 finally found their completion. The message of completing these monumental projects spread like a cosmic fire and sparked an unstoppable wave of enthusiasm. An assembly of the Senate with a magnificent celebration of unparalleled magnitude and glory was convened to celebrate this epic milestone properly. The divine Empress Savior rose majestically, and her words sounded through space like an echo from distant galaxies. "In this epochal moment, 3 sparkling jewels have been born, whose glow will shape the face of our empire forever." As majestic images of the newly created paradise lit up in the background, the mood reached a feverish peak of enthusiasm. Something that shone like a bright star of hope amid dark times. Meanwhile, the telepathic pioneers pressed unstoppably behind the impenetrable veil of reality, their mental senses tapping deeper and deeper. But at this crucial moment of discovery, they were confronted with something unexpected, a strange ship passing by them at the speed of a comet. A sight that captivated their senses and exceeded their imagination. Never before had they seen such a phenomenal appearance that shaded their previous experiences. Full of curiosity and determination, the daring telepaths tried to contact the mysterious crew. But to their astonishment, they encountered a mental barrier of unprecedented strength, which put their mental powers to a severe test. Like an insurmountable bulwark, this incomprehensible obstacle arose before them, and they realized that they were dealing with an extraordinary power far exceeding their previous abilities. A wave of feedback grabbed her ruthlessly and threw her out of the veil of illusion. Unconscious and weakened, the telepaths returned to sober reality, their thoughts still drawn by the consequences of this unexpected encounter. What species would like to have such enormous power? There was concern in the Senate as they discussed the profound significance of this meeting. Meanwhile, the research department did not rest in inactivity. With tireless effort, the hypershield technology was steadily approaching its completion. With a proud voice, Archon proclaimed the breakthrough news: "It is accomplished. Through this achievement, our majestic ships will be almost invulnerable, Immediately, the new-fashioned shields were installed and subjected to a ruthless hardness test. The results that emerged were simply breathtaking. With this new achievement behind us, research has now been able to move forward with unprecedented dynamism to explore further revolutionary technologies such as shell armor and atmospheric filters. The vision of the war's end suddenly seemed close to reach, as if it were only a blink away. In the meantime, Rita devoted all her energy to discovering the interstellar economy. In her innermost depth, she firmly believed that the key to unshakable harmony was hidden in it. It continually forged complex trading models and invented economic incentives that had the potential to transform galaxies. "Look!" she exclaimed to the Senate. "A common prosperity will unite us, not pointless violence." Nevertheless, their hearts were still closed to the Senate for their visionary vision. Returning to her complex calculations, Rita resigned. Somehow, she had to succeed in convincing the Senate of the tremendous power of trade. Deep inside, she felt that she was near the decisive breakthrough. Paulina, on the other hand, continued her campaign against the unis. The Zaka system was only the latest triumph in her impressive list of conquests, but she was far from satisfied. Her thirst for revenge prompted her to conquer more worlds until no stone on the other remained of this hated cult. With each new conquest, her power and influence grew, and the unis could only watch helplessly their empire collapse unstoppably. Paulina was an administrator of the future, a woman with a vision, ready to sacrifice anything to fulfill her mission. The galaxy trembled with fear as it whispered its name, and those who stood in its way were ruthlessly driven away from its path. The unis had found their worst enemy and would not rest until they had utterly destroyed it. "Let the blasphemies reflect in your thoughts," her voice heard through the ranks of the space fleet. "Today will be the day of vengeance, at which their crimes will be astonished." With a determination burning like a burning hell in their eyes, Paulina's army collapsed in a bold advance against the Fayuk system, a bastion of the feared enemy. The darkness of the night enveloped her like an impenetrable veil while the sound of war filled her ears. An unwavering, courageous warrior, Paulina knew there was no way back. The past was behind her, fading and forgotten, and the future was before her, uncertain and dangerous. But she dared to look courageously forward, with her eyes fixed on the goal she desired with every fiber of her being. The doubts that swept their minds like poisonous snakes could not shake their determination. She had sworn to fulfill a duty, and nothing could prevent her. Even though her thoughts sometimes tormented her and burdened her heart heavily, she did not let herself be discouraged. She knew the road before her would be rocky and full of obstacles, but she was willing to give anything to her goal. Her determination grew more robust with each step, and her fear weakened. She was ready to face the challenges and stand up for her beliefs. Meanwhile, the fearless archaeologists at Ek Armstrong came across a discovery of truly epic scale, the wretched remains of a long-forgotten civilization, hidden deep in the mysterious Magnus system. A breath of excitement pervaded the ranks of the researchers as they immediately embarked on sending courageous expeditions to retrieve the precious artifacts from the depths of the galaxy. A triumphal jubilation filled the air when the researchers proclaimed with glowing eyes, "This will undoubtedly be a revolution of our knowledge. It seems history is ready to reveal its most profound secrets." The words sounded through the space, generating an electrifying tension, while the researchers were in a real noise of discovery. The world would never be the same again because the unknown would reveal itself and expand the boundaries of human understanding. The anticipation of the coming findings was tangible, and the researchers could hardly wait to uncover the secrets of history and explore new horizons. The Senate surrendered with genuine enthusiasm, for every new knowledge they acquired would undoubtedly further strengthen the Empire's power. Without delay, the precious artifacts were transported to Kasach so the noble scholars could decipher their riddles. Thus, another year of galactic conflict approached its inevitable end, filled with the shimmering splendor of interstellar battles and the ruthless misery of the oppressed worlds. The epic fighting continued in the infinite cosmos. Still, in the hearts of the brave warriors Savia, Rita, and Paulina, the flame of hope persistently paved its way through the dark vastnesses. The three heroines felt the unstoppable change that unfolded like a delicate flower in their souls, ready to change the power relationships in the universe forever. And as the stars whispered over them their mysterious stories, a distant planet proclaimed a new morning, proclaiming the arrival of the long-awaited peace. The night of war seemed darker, but the bright light of the impending triumph sent out its brilliant messengers to penetrate the darkness and drive away the shadows of the past. In the galaxy's vastness, a new era was revealed in which hope flourished, and the stars themselves witnessed the unstoppable rise of mankind. They advanced to a new era, guided by an unstoppable determination, the heroines of this cosmic age, whose courage and determination were destined to shape the galaxy forever. With a heart full of confidence, they looked courageously into the uncertain future, ready to face the challenges ahead. Hey, I would be happy if you could give my video a like, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date.